Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Lookout. I woke up this morning hoping I could take a day off with the rain we had, but then I got on the computer and Smith River Complex was actually really active yesterday and last night. So we're going to focus on that. Had quite a bit of rain kind of from Weaverville to the east. If you draw a line from Weaverville up towards Fort Jones. Looking at current conditions right now on the radar, you can see heavy areas of precip here kind of out to the northeast of Weaverville, kind of coming down towards Covelo. Right now on the radar itself, it's not really active. There's little sprinkles, looks like, kind of right around Weaverville and around the I-5 corridor, but nothing really up through the center of Orleans or Happy Camp. On this precip map, you can see some stations here along the I-5 last night got over 2 inches of rain north of Lake Shasta. One station up here reported 2.5 inches right by north of Fort Jones, but none of the stations out in the central kind of Klamath are reporting any measurable precip overnight, last 24 hours. So we're going to focus on the Smith River Complex. National Infrared Operations still is continuing to have major challenges, either between the weather or their sensors not working, looks like. So the only place that we got fresh intel last night was on the Smith River Complex. We see that we have strong growth here on the Holiday Fire. 3.5 miles have spread in the last 24 hours down towards Gasquet, following this canyon. On the Kelly Fire, we have 2.5 miles of spread to the southwest. Kind of minor spread up here on the Corral Fire. It only spread, maybe a quarter mile. And also the Hurdy-Gurdy Fire didn't spread much. On the backing side, the fire did spread up into Oregon, and so pretty substantially, like almost 1.5 miles. And so one of the reasons that we had this spread was over the past 24 hours, we've had this low parked off the north coast that has been there for probably about a week. It helped bring in all the lightning that actually started these fires. That's finally moving through California over the last 24 hours or so. You can see it moved through, and that really changed the circulation. Like it sucked a bunch of the smoke from the coast here into the valley, and we finally had our first smoky day here in Chico. But also on the kind of backside of this low, we've got, as part of this the flow of it, it sucked in pretty strong northeast winds yesterday afternoon and overnight, like this way into the low. And that, I think, is what helped spread this complex. So the ops map got published before they had the infrared, so the other maps are a little more accurate, but you can see that strong spread down Stony Creek. One thing that's bad about this fire extending a flank and kind of creating this pincher here is that the power line for the north coast for Crescent City and that whole northwestern corner, Pacific Power Line, comes right through the 199 corridor, and so it's going to continue to be impacted as this fire pinches down on this corridor. As far as regional impacts, that's one of the worst things. It's just that we're going to continue to have impacts to the power line corridor as this fire backs down, and this kind of pincher is wanting to close in. You can just really see how we're looking north and a little northeast, and you can see how that topography funneled the northish winds that came on the backside of that low, spreading down. So here's Gasquet down here. And that's about all we have to share with you this morning, just that we had that big spread. I'm sure the team will have an operational update this morning that'll be on their Facebook page. So you can find that through the Six Rivers National Forest Facebook. And as I said before, we haven't yet been getting a lot of kind of operational intel, tactical info. But what we did talk about yesterday was indirect tactics, and how a fire like this that is spreading kind of uncontrollably on a large front requires, if we're going to contain it, requires working a week out ahead of it or 5 days out ahead of it. And unclear if there's really going to be the resources available to initiate a plan like that. Yesterday, watching the ops briefing, they pretty much said that many of the fires in this complex are unstaffed and that they're focused on structure protection. So we don't expect a major change in the tactics or in Thanks everyone for watching. Because the infrared plane was down, we don't have new intel for Perch Fire, the SRF complex fire in the national park. But we will keep you updated as we get new information. Be sure to check our Twitter, Wildland Zico, and thanks for supporting Lookout.